Earthquake is the story of a little boy. He is a young boy having his own tea shop by the roadside. He meets a traveler and invites him to his shop and starts telling the incidences that took place in his life. So now let's go through the lesson. Are you a stranger to these parts? Waiting for the bus to Badrinath? Perhaps you are a pilgrim or a visitor to the Valley of Flowers. Anyway, whoever you are, come with me. Wait at my tea shop. It is just past the bend in the road. So, here the boy is asking the traveler whether he is a stranger to that area, whether he is waiting for the bus to Badrinath. Badrinath is a holy place in Uttarakhand. So perhaps he is telling maybe you are a pilgrim or a visitor to the Valley of Flowers. So Valley of Flowers is nothing but a national park, and here pilgrim means a traveler who is on a journey to a holy place. So obviously he said he is going to Badrinath, which is a holy place. So he is telling maybe you are going to the holy place, that is Badrinath, or maybe you are a visitor to the Valley of Flowers, that is a national park which is very famous there. Then he tells whoever you are, it's okay, come with me. You can wait at my tea shop. It is just past the bend in the road. So he's telling it's just right here. You can wait there, no problem, till your bus comes. As you can see, I'm carrying this can of milk to the shop. In 10 minutes, I will have a fire going. While you warm yourself, I will prepare for you the best cup of tea in all Garhwal. It will chase away the pinched blue look from your face. Here we are. Welcome to my humble roadside tea shop. Make yourself comfortable on this wooden bench. It looks rickety, but it will hold your weight. Here he is telling that he was actually carrying a can of milk to his shop. So he tells in 10 minutes I'll have a fire going. So he'll prepare a campfire type fire so that he can warm himself. The traveler can warm himself, and till then this boy will prepare the best cup of tea in all Garhwal. Garhwal is that area, place, or the name of that place. It will chase away the pinched blue look from your face. So he's telling the tired look that I can see in your face, it will be gone after drinking my tea. So they walk till the tea shop and they reach there. So he tells, here we are. So he is welcoming that traveler to his tea shop. Make yourself comfortable on this wooden bench. There's a wooden bench and he tells, you sit here and be comfortable. I know it looks rickety. What is rickety? It is shaky, insecure, like it may fall anytime, but it will hold your weight. That is, if you sit, you won't fall. My name, Sahib. I am called Bridge. I am 17 years old. I started this tea shop 2 years ago. Before that, I worked in a roadside dhaba outside Panipat. The heat, the crowd, the pollution, it was all too much. I had saved most of my earnings. I came back and with a little help, I started the shop. By the grace of Badri Vishal, it provides me a decent enough livelihood. So the traveler asks his name. So he tells, my name, Sahib, my name is Bridge and I am 17 years old. So he's telling he's 17 years old and he started that tea shop 2 years ago. That means when he was 15 years. So before that, before starting the tea shop, he used to work in a roadside dhaba. What is a dhaba? A small restaurant. You all know. You have seen a dhaba. So he used to work there outside Panipat. Now the heat, the crowd, the pollution, it was all too much for him. So he left that job and he had saved most of his earnings. So whatever he used to earn in that dhaba, he had saved it, and with that money, as well as I came back and with a little help I started this shop. He had his earnings and with a little help from others, he started that tea shop. So by the grace of Badri Vishal, here he means that by the blessings of Lord Vishnu, he is providing me a decent enough livelihood. That is, my work is going on by the grace of God. Here, your tea is ready, strong, sweet, flavored with cardamom. Enjoy it, Sahib, while I get on with my Course. This is my daily routine. At sunset, I will shut my shop and walk back the 3 miles to my dwelling on the hillside. The name of my village? It was my village, the village of my ancestors. It is no more. Molti is gone. So by then, the tea was ready. It was strong, sweet, and flavored with cardamom. What is cardamom? So, cardamom is an Indian spice known for its intense flavor and it's used in traditional medicine. So, he tells, your tea is ready and enjoy the tea. Till then, I will do all my chores. What is chores? Work. He will continue with his work. So, this is my daily routine, that is procedure. So, his daily procedure. At sunset, I will shut my shop and walk back the 3 miles to my dwelling. What is dwelling? It's a place where he lives, to his home on the hillside. So, I think the traveler asks him, what is the name of your village? Of his village. So, he tells, my village. That village was the not only mine but it was also my ancestors, but it is no more. That is, the village name is Molti. Molti is gone. What happened to my village? It was 4 years ago in the month of October. One night the earth quaked. Yes, tremors are common in these parts. These snows may seem eternal, the Himalayas may look solid, but the truth is, deep down they are unstable. We who live here are accustomed to tremors. So the traveler asked him what happened to his village. So he tells, it was 4 years ago in the month of October. One night there was an earthquake. And he tells, yes, in these area or in these parts, the tremors, the earthquake are common. So these snows may seem eternal. You have seen the Himalayan mountains. You have seen the pictures. It is covered with snow. So they look like beautiful. The Himalayas may look solid. The mountains look solid. But the truth is, deep down they are unstable. That is, it can fall any time. The people who are living there are scared. So we who live here are accustomed to tremors. That is, we are used to these earthquakes every time. But what happened that night was more than that. It was a terrible earthquake. Its effects were felt as far away as Delhi and Lucknow. Can you imagine the devastation at the heart of the earthquake? The epicenter was in a valley not far from here. There were 670 villages in the valley. 602 were destroyed. The earthquake lasted less than 5 minutes, time enough to set these centuries old mountains crashing, to reduce our villages to rubble, to snuff out hundreds of lives. So, this boy Bridge, he's telling, but what happened that night was more than that. It was not just a small tremor, it was a terrible earthquake. The tremors were felt even in some parts of Delhi and Lucknow too. It was not just in Uttarakhand. Can you imagine? He's asking that person, can you imagine that devastation at the heart of the earthquake? So he's asking that traveler, can you even imagine the amount of destruction that natural calamity had done to us? So the epicenter was in a valley not far from here. So epicenter is nothing but the central point, the main point where the earthquake began. So he's telling it was not far from this place. So there were 670 villages in the valley. In that area there were 670 villages, in which 602 were destroyed. The earthquake which destroyed all these villages, it lasted only for less than 5 minutes. It was not even for 5 minutes, but the time was enough to bring down all those century old buildings and mountains crashing down, full destruction of the villages. So all the villages were almost destroyed. So most of the villages had been destroyed. To rubble. Rubble is breakdown. It was broken down. To snuff out hundreds of lives. What is snuff out? To pull out or put out all the hundreds of lives that have been dead underneath. So they had to remove all those pieces and remove the dead bodies outside. It was sheer chance that I was away that night. I had gone to Pauri to buy my school books. I stayed the night at my uncle's house. We felt the tremors. We ran out into the open. Again and again the tremors came. We spent the entire night outside. Pauri lived through the night. Molti did not. So he is telling that it was a complete chance. He was lucky that he was away from that village that night. He had gone to a different village called Pauri to buy his school books. So it was late when he had to come back. So he stayed in his uncle's house. He felt the tremors too. The effects were there even in other villages too. So he also felt the tremors, the earthquake. So they all came running outside the house. We ran out into the open. So the tremors were so bad that they came out. They were scared. In case they stay inside, the house may collapse and fall upon them. So again and again the tremors came. So the entire night they had slept outside the house. So Pauri lived through the night. That is, the Pauri village was not destroyed, but Molti did not. That is, it could not survive the earthquake. For the living, the nightmare began at daybreak when the news trickled in of the large scale devastation. There were dozens of landslides, huge boulders thrown haphazardly across motorable tracks and roads. Precious time was spent in blasting the rocks and clearing the way for army rescue teams. It was all of 4 days before help arrived for Molti. So here he is telling for the people who lived, the nightmare began at daybreak. That is early morning. The people were shocked when they got the news. The trickled means came. That is about the large scale devastation. That is 670 villages. Among the 670 villages, 602 villages were destroyed. So imagine how many people died. So huge boulders were thrown haphazardly across motorable tracks and roads. That is a place where you could just travel. The tracks, the roads, everything were blocked by huge boulders. What is boulders? It's nothing but rocks, huge rocks, and it was thrown haphazardly. What is haphazardly? Randomly. It was just thrown here and there. They couldn't, and most of their time was spent in clearing that way so that the army rescue teams could come and rescue the people. So it took almost 4 days to help Molti. That is when the help arrived. That is the army rescue team. For the army rescue teams, it took 4 days to arrive at Molti. I was among the first to reach the village. My uncle accompanied me. We feared the worst, but nothing had prepared us for what we saw. Every single house, every wall, every roof had been flattened. Stone, rubble, and dust were all that remained. Our house was a 2-storied stone building with a slate roof. My great grandfather had built the house. We were a small family. My father had died after an illness just 14 months ago. My mother took care of us. We were 3 children. I was the oldest. My brother Neelu was 10. Bully, my 2-year-old sister, was the baby of the family. My grandmother lived with us. So here he is trying to say that he was the first to reach the village with the army rescue teams. So his uncle had accompanied him. So he was there with him. Both feared. They knew that something wrong has happened there, or the worst has happened, but they were not prepared to face it. So as soon as they reached the village, what did they see? Every single house, every wall, every roof, it all was destroyed. There was just stone, rubble, and dust. Entire houses were broken into pieces, and dust was all that remained. So his house was a 2-storied building. It was a stone building with a slate roof. That is a plain roof. So his great grandfather had built the house, and his house in his house, it was a small family. So his father, Brid's father, he had died because of an illness just 14 months ago. So his mother was the only person who was taking care of them. They had totally 3 children. He was the oldest, Bridge was the oldest, and then he had a 10-year-old brother Neelu and 2-year-old sister Bully. She was the baby of the family. Obviously, she was just 2 years old, and grandmother used to live with them. When the soldiers began to clear the debris, my uncle led me away. I was in a complete daze, too numb to feel anything. The soldiers had set up a makeshift camp. Someone gave me tea and biscuits. I don't know how long I was there. Suddenly, it was evening and uncle was standing beside me. They have taken the bodies to the river bank, he said gently. Come, you must perform the last rites before sunset. Tomorrow we will go back to Pauri. So here the soldiers came and they started clearing the entire debris. What is debris? It's waste or wreckage or broken pieces, the fragments. So it is pronounced as debris. S is silent there. So his uncle led me away. So that is when soldiers were clearing the entire area, his uncle came and took him away from there because he was completely in shock. Daze is nothing but shock. He was too numb. He did not know what to feel or what to say. He was in a complete shock. Now the soldiers had set up a makeshift camp, that is for the survivors. It was one small camp where they could treat all these people. So someone gave me tea and biscuits. So he was taken to that makeshift camp and somebody came and gave him tea and biscuits, and he doesn't remember who was it and how long he was there. Suddenly it was evening, and when he opened his eyes and he saw that uncle was standing beside him, and he told him that they have taken the bodies to the river bank. So you must perform the last rites before sunset, and tomorrow we will go back to our village, that is Pauri. I had last seen my family while leaving for Pauri. They stood at the doorway and waved. Ma, Dadi, Neelu, and Bhuli. That is the way I will always remember them, smiling and waving at me. Not as the white shrouded lifeless figures I saw. Bhuli, she was not there. Now he is trying to remember when he had seen his family for the last time. It was when he was leaving back to Pauri to buy his school books. So they stood at the doorway. Near the door, they all stood and they were waving, that is saying him bye. Ma, Dadi, Neelu, Bhuli, all these 4 people were standing there and they were smiling and waving at him. So he is telling that this is the way I will always remember them, smiling and waving at me, and not like the bodies that are kept there with covered with the white cloth. When he looked at the bodies, he realized Bhuli. She was not there. The 2-year-old sister, the baby of the family, was not present in those dead bodies.